Hey everyone, we are just a few weeks away from general election 2024 results that would be declared on 4th June. And stock market has been quite volatile in this May month. In April month, FI sold investment worth around 35,690 crore, although DIs were the net buyers with investment purchase worth 44,186 crore. In May month, FIs have again sold investment worth 29,470 crore so far. Although DIs did purchase stake worth 22,972 crore, but overall the DIs buying is lower than FIs selling. Moreover, the current sentiment suggests that even retail investors and traders are reducing their position in the market. The reason is, it seems stock market was over-enthusiastic after state election result in December and expecting easy victory for BJP. But now that we are almost halfway through the election, market is expecting that it won't be an easy ride for BJP. Hence, we have seen a good correction in the first half of May month. The question is, as a long-term investor, what should you do at this point in time? Should you buy the dip or wait for more corrections? Or invest after election result? See, I don't intend to argue on who would win this election, and I don't want to predict anything. I only look at it from an investor's point of view. At the end of the day, the most important point is our country's growth and how we create wealth from our investment. So if you look at the possible outcome of election result, there are only two cases. Either BJP would win this third term or they would lose. Now what would be the expectations from the market? If BJP would win, market would cheer it and would rise to make a new high. Yes, it would also depend upon how strong the victory is. If NDA gets strong majority with say 350 plus seat, stock market would zoom. If the victory is not very comprehensive, stock market can even correct in near term. Because the current market state suggests that the market is already expecting BJP to win this election with a strong majority. Although the recent correction in May month is trying to factor in the possible negative outcome like victory without a strong majority. And in case BJP loses the election, stock market will crack badly. In that case, as a long-term investor, will get the lifetime opportunity to invest our money at mouth-watering valuation across sectors. And there would be enough time to invest money. However, if BJP win this election with a strong majority, a few sectors would outperform the stock market. And in today's video, I want to highlight those sectors and top stocks that can potentially generate great return if BJP wins this election. You might want to list down the names so you can keep some cash in hand to deploy money when BJP win the election. If they lose, like I said, we'll get ample opportunity. But if they win with a strong majority, it's best that you deploy the money right away to benefit from the uptrend. Okay, before we proceed, this is not a buy or sell call. Basically, I've gone through BJP manifesto to understand the key focus area of the government for the third term and tried to list down top sectors and leading companies from the space that can potentially benefit from the third term. Please note that this is just a high-level video. You have to study the companies before you invest your money. Don't blindly invest in any company just because it's part of the hot theme. Because during bull run in a specific sector, even the fundamentally weak companies outperform. But they would also nosedive when the cycle turns. So it's very important to look at fundamentals as well as valuation before investing your money. Alright, let's get started. So first sector that would strongly benefit if BJP comes to power in third term is infrastructure. Current government has a very strong focus on improving the infrastructure of the country, and that includes railway, road, airport and telecom. First, if you look at the railway, I think railway would be a huge beneficiary in third term. BJP in its manifesto has announced the addition of more than 5,000 kilometers of track every year. Then there's plan to launch 3,000 new track in the next 4-5 years. That include 400 to 500 new Vande Bharat train, including the Vande Bharat sleeper train. Overall, the plan is to invest 2.4 lakh crore rupees in railway modernization. Considering the growing trend for travel, this investment would benefit companies working in railway domain. Some of the top railway stocks include your Titagarh Wagon, then Jupiter Wagon, IRCTC, IRFC, Ircon International and Rail Vikas Nigam. Next is road network, where government intend to build 41,000 km of national highway, including 15,000 km of high-speed corridors with investment requirement of 20 lakh crore. And some of the top companies in road transport segment include IRB Infra, HG Infra, PNC Infra and GR Infra project. Then many companies that contribute in the infrastructure value chain would benefit from development in road, railway, airport as well as water supply to rural area. Especially the structural steel tube companies would be a strong beneficiary. Top companies in this space include APL Apollo, JTL Industry, Hitech Pipe and Venus Pipe. Then you have L&T as a proxy for all the infrastructure development in India. Then within telecom, you have stocks like Indus Tower and HFCL that can benefit from investment in telecom infrastructure. Then expansion of airport would benefit companies like Indigo Airlines. Personally, I have invested in Indigo Airlines as it is still available at an attractive PE of just 22. In case you want to know where I am investing my money, you can join my close community of long-term investors via my weekly series. In this, I share one exclusive video every week that include my own investment detail along with keeping a close eye on the macro event as well as quarterly result. I have an Excel tracker for quarterly result that helps in identifying investment opportunity. But please note that this is strictly for long-term investors. For more detail, you can visit my website or explore the join button on this YouTube channel. Now, second sector that would benefit is power and renewable energy. Indian government has a massive plan to increase power production capacity from renewable source from current capacity of 166 gigawatt to 537 gigawatt by FY30. This would involve renewable energy capacity addition across your solar, wind, hydrogen, then grid investment, battery charging infrastructure, smart metering, ethanol blending and so on. For instance, government has launched Suryodaya Yojana last year with a goal to install solar rooftop in 1 crore Indian household. Government would provide subsidy under this program. Then government has launched National Green Hydrogen Mission to achieve its goal of carbon neutrality. So this would benefit the entire power chain right from your power production all the way to distribution. Some of the top stocks to benefit from this theme include your power grid, NTPC, Tata Power. Then you have companies that manufacture various components like your transformer, solar inverter, modular substation, cables and wires, smart meters, etc. They include names like ABB India, Hitachi Energy, Siemens, Polycab, KEI Wires, then Thermax, CG Power, Genus Power, HP Electric, then Salzar Electronics. Then you have Praj Industry to benefit from ethanol blending with petrol and sustainable aviation fuel for jets. In addition, there are a lot of solar and wind EPC companies that are going to benefit from this capex and renewable energy. I have recently discussed the turnaround story of SW Solar. Then you have Inox Wind from wind energy. Apart from this, there are many EPC players like Wari, Oriana Power, etc. Overall, the entire power value chain would benefit from this mega trend of renewable energy. However, please ensure that you don't buy the stock at very high valuation as market has already factored in the high growth in current valuation for some of the companies. Then third sector where current government has a lot of focus is the entire electric vehicle ecosystem. 21st century is witnessing a huge transformation from petrol diesel vehicle to electric vehicle. While countries like US, Europe, China are way ahead of EV adoption, Indian EV market is growing at a fast rate. One of the biggest challenge for EV adoption in India is lack of EV charging infrastructure. Now the Indian government is targeting 30% EV adoption in new private vehicle registration by 2030. That would be 8 crore electric vehicles. To support this massive rise in EV adoption, India would need a total of 39 lakh public and semi-public charging stations. And that would be one station for every 20 vehicles. And currently there are only one charging station for 135 electric vehicles. So we have a long way ahead, and if Indian government has to achieve its EV adoption target by 2030, it has to invest a significant amount. Now this investment would benefit the entire EV value chain. For instance, in four-wheeler you have players like Tata Motor, Mahindra and Mahindra. Then in two-wheeler you have TVS Motor. Although the space is very cluttered today with many new companies trying to capture the growing two-wheeler EV market of India. Then you have Ashok Leyland, Electra Green Tech in commercial bus. If you look at the auto auxiliary space, there are many promising names like Samvardhana Motherson Sumi and Sona BLW. Interestingly, this growth in EV segment would also push the growth for vehicle loan, where you have top companies like Shriram Finance and Cholamandalam Investment and Finance. Now, fourth sector that would benefit if BJP wins the third term is PSU Banks and NBFC. If you look at the last 2 years of performance, Indian PSU Bank share price have outperformed private banks by a huge margin. Indian PSU Bank Index has zoomed more than 500% since COVID. And one of the biggest reasons for this crazy rally is due to multiple reforms by Indian government. For instance, Indian government established Bad Bank to move the long outstanding NPAs out of the PSU Bank books. Then implementation of insolvency and bankruptcy code is helping banks to recover their debt. And merger of several PSU banks enabled them to have a more focused approach on their operations. On top of this, Indian government long-term projects of infrastructure, power and agriculture would benefit PSU banks more than private banks, as they traditionally have higher exposure in these sectors. And this is the biggest reason for PSU banks' outperformance. Please note that it comes at a risk. So today corporate lending is resulting in great profit for PSU banks, but it is one of the biggest factor for high NPAs in the past. That is the reason private banks don't want a lot of exposure in high risk corporate lending and are focusing on retail lending, which is the right way to build a strong balance sheet for sustainable growth. Also, I believe that PSU banks have already rallied a lot and now their price to book is not very attractive. PSU banks might still do well, but I don't see a lot of valuation comfort. Please understand that one of the biggest reasons why PSU banks rallied post-COVID is due to their ultra cheap valuation. Their earnings expanded and valuations were very attractive that resulted in a sharp rally. However, today I don't see a lot of scope for valuation expansion. So now on, share price growth would be based on the earning growth. Having said this, PSU banks may continue to rally due to current focus on infra capex and positive sentiments. But please keep a close eye on valuation. Some of the top banks in PSU space include your SBI, Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank, Union Bank of India and Bank of Maharashtra. Friends, please note that the Indian government has also launched multiple schemes to benefit people in rural part of the country. For instance, they have launched schemes like PM Awas Yojana that focus on affordable houses for people belonging to lower strata of society. That would benefit banks as well as NBFC focusing on affordable housing. That's where my top picks are Awas Financiers and Home First Finance. Also, Indian government is focusing on providing loan to MSME segment. That's where I'm positive on entire microfinance space where top players include your Credit Access Grameen, Arman Financials and Satin Credit Care. Now, last sector that would immensely benefit if BJP comes to power in third term is defense. Indian government is extremely focused on indigenization of defense industry. India has been highly dependent on countries like US for import of defense item and now they want to reduce this dependency by promoting domestic manufacturing. There's already a ban on import of hundreds of defense items. In FY24, government has allocated a budget of 1.6 lakh crore. Overall, it has created an opportunity worth 5 lakh crore over the next 5 years. Some of the top beneficiaries from this theme include your Bharat Electronics, Hindustan Aeronautics, Bharat Dynamics, L&T, Mazgan Dock, MTAR, Data Pattern, BEML and Bharat Forge. So in this video, we discuss the sectors that can benefit if BJP wins the 2024 general election. Like I said earlier, in case BJP loses, stock market would tank badly and there would be ample opportunities across every sector and would probably create a lifetime investment opportunity where you can deploy money over a period of time. However, if BJP wins with strong majority, the 5 sectors that I discussed would potentially rally that include infra and within that especially railway sector. Then power and renewable sector would also jump that across your solar, wind and hydrogen, especially solar stock would rally that also includes solar EPC company. Then third segment would be EV infrastructure. Fourth would be PSU and NBFC sector and especially PSU banks. And fifth would be defense. So you can keep a close eye on the top companies from these 5 sectors and do further research to keep a buy list ready. In case BJP wins the election but the quantum of victory is not as per market expectation, then stock market may correct for the short term. And that would again create opportunity in these 5 sectors. Having said this, these are more momentum investment to benefit from government spending and macro environment in the near term. As a long-term investor, you can consider building a core portfolio with sectors like IT, private banks, FMCG, and even for that matter, auto that would create wealth over the long term. And then you can consider building a satellite portfolio with these top themes that we have discussed in this video. I've recently done a video on how to build a long-term versus short-term portfolio. Now tell me in the comments, which stocks do you think would rally if BJP wins the third term? And did I miss any stock? If you find this video useful, do share it with your friends and I would see you next video. Till then, take care.